like to call the April Maumelle Civil Service Commission meeting to order. Are there any public comments not related to an agenda item? Nothing to say, Hannah? Okay, it's unusual. We need approval of the March 2017 Commission regular meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve the
Second.
March meeting minutes.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Any opposed, no. Motion carries. We don't have any old business. Under new business, Chief Ezell is asking temporary promotion of Captain Michael Cossey to battalion chief. And I think the chief has sent a representative. He's out of town, I understand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's an
Come on up.
Yeah. It's,
Are you the representative or is Mike?
Well, he asked me to. I don't know if he asked us both, but what we're asking for is an extension. He's been in it, I guess. I don't know the exact time he's been in it, but it's probably right at 60 days. So we're asking for another 60, and actually to extend his and Captain Malden, who's acting right now, and Engineer Wamsley, to just go ahead and extend that through November until Battalion Chief Eaton gets back.
We're going to discuss that after this.
Okay.
I've already asked the city attorney for a legal opinion on that, so
Okay.
we'll get to that. But we can go ahead and consider the extension of the temporary promotion for Captain Cossey. Anybody, anything
Move
to
we
say?
extend
Second.
Captain Cossey to battalion chief?
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. All opposed, no. Motion carries. The second item is what you just alluded to. It's a discussion of making all temporary promotions valid until the return of Battalion Chief Scott Eaton in November. I did ask the city attorney for a legal opinion on that as to whether everything under temporary appointments in our handbook is reference to that Arkansas code item, or whether just certain parts of it are.
It is not a verbatim, word for word, or even sentence for sentence translation like we see in some places in our rules.
In your opinion, does the Arkansas code prohibit us from doing anything other than 60-day temporary appointments, which have to be extended over and over under certain circumstances?
So it depends on the reason for needing to fill a temporary position, and it also depends on whether or not there's a current eligibles list. My understanding is Battalion Chief Eaton is on military leave. So there's a provision in the rules, in the code, that exempt that 60-day requirement. But of course, it would require y'all to make that temporary appointment. And I noticed we just temporarily appointed Captain Cossey to Battalion Chief, or renewed that temporary promotion. So don't let me forget to ask how long that temporary promotion was for. And I think that's somewhat contingent upon what we're talking
The
about
one we
now.
just did was
Yes.
another 60 days.
Okay. So it can go longer than 60 days when the reason for the appointment is because of some of the criteria that fall under the Uniformed Services Employment and Reemployment Rights Act.
Would there be, and these are the two things that I thought of when I was thinking about this, at least the first two things I thought of. Military leave has a stopping place, but we have had, and we know what that is, we have had situations where an individual was injured, and that does not have a stopping place. Is that the kind of distinction that the state law makes, or?
Well, I didn't dig into all of the details, or really even the broad strokes of the Uniformed Services Employment and Reemployment Rights
I
Act.
didn't find what he's talking about.
Can we
But-
can we put a limit on how long? Can we add that?
Yes, and y'all are not required to appoint for longer than 60 days. Y'all just have that option in this case.
So we do have discretion to do that in this particular.
Yes,
case.
and also for the other two positions
Correct.
as well, because they're all
They all
related.
tie to the same.
Yeah.
And the city has to, for example, rehire. It'd be different if it was just a vacancy, you had an eligibles list, but for some reason you didn't want to hire someone from that list. That's when the time constraints are hard. Now, our rules are just very general in that if you look not at the state law but at our rules, they just say generally that if it's going to be more than 60 days, it has to come to the Civil Service Commission. Presumably then, at that meeting where it was being discussed, some of these other factors would be considered.
Okay. Again, in your opinion, do we need to make a change in our rules? And I'll give you a month to study this, but I just want you to look at it.
I would like to see something that would limit how long we could extend, like a year. You know, it has to come to us for more than 60 days, but I don't want to see us to be able to do it for like longer than, say,
I
a
would
year.
want anything that we potentially did to be at the discretion on a case-by-case basis
Right.
of the Civil Service Commission.
But I still would like to not have it open-ended to where it doesn't have to come back for renewal.
Says they don't have to
So
come before the
not
commission.
just to say,
They can do it
okay,
60
yes, we can do it
days
for a year, but in a year, you have to come back, and we have to approve it again.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of changes that could happen.
You're not
within a year.
saying, okay,
Yeah, yeah,
you're not
yeah.
saying that the 60 days
No,
is
no,
what
no,
you're
no,
looking
no, no,
at.
no.
We could have the judge or discretion to make it longer.
However long,
Whatever.
but the longest we can do is a year. That way, it has to come back, just because if we have a turnover or,
Yeah.
you know, that
Is-
type stuff.
Our rules say they have to come before the commission every 60 days.
That's
Says
not
in
how
here that they can do it without coming toward it.
provided that it's for not more than 60 days. So looking at the rules, it mentions the 60 days twice in the temporary appointments section, which is chapter 4. It starts on the bottom of page 13 and continues
Yeah.
on to 14. Were you referencing a particular?
That 13, the bottom of 13.
So on 13 it
They can
says,
they can do it 60 days without even coming before the commission, up to 60.
correct, but there are some pay implications there.
As long as it's not paid, yeah.
Well, as long as it's not going above the pay grade that the person's in.
Yes, sir.
When Michael gets promoted to battalion chief, does his pay go up? The battalion chief grade?
Yes,
Entry,
yes.
everybody goes to entry level, which is why we have to come before the civil service,
Right.
because any temporary promotion exceeds your
Right.
pay grade.
That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Understanding he's in the position now and has been in it
Right.
for previous 60 days. Yeah.
I guess, did everybody understand what I was trying to say? I mean, I think that we can approve it for longer than 60 days, but I was just saying not to exceed a year.
Or in a case like this, we can tie it to a
Oh, yeah.
specific event.
Right.
So,
But if we need that worded in the rules,
And it would be, it doesn't necessarily need to be worded. Y'all could choose a time less than infinity
okay.
on your own,
On
or
our
we
own,
could
okay.
rewrite the rules to limit y'all or a future civil service commission to have to change them if they want, however y'all wanted to do that. And it'd be my recommendation that a year seems like a reasonable time, and I'd go to a particular date or month rather than an unknown event. And then if someone's on a tour overseas and then they have to come back, but they come back later, that y'all just revisit it at that time. It gives some more certainty to the temporary promotion.
well, and we've been in this situation before, particularly with the fire department, because y'all do have a lot of military ties. So it's not unusual for a
No.
fire department employee to be overseas and gone for a year. I don't really have a big issue. I mean, there's really no reason that the chief should have to come in here every 60 days. I don't see a big problem with extending this. What are we?
Till November.
Through November. Discussion? I would consider a motion then. Okay, I'll make it. I move that we extend each temporary appointment related to Battalion Chief Scott Eaton's absence till the end of November. And that covers not just one person, but I guess three, right?
Yes, sir.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. And last but not least, from Chief Ezel, requesting an entry-level firefighter test.
Yes, sir. We've exhausted our list. We've gone through, all the candidates on the list. So I have an understanding that the police department is having a test on like the 20th, May 20th. And so we'd like to ask to use that same day as a new testing for the fire department.
Discussion? Motion?
I move that we make the 20th of May level entry for the firefighter test.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say yes.
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 Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Chief Williams.
Yes, sir.
I think you're wanting something.
You want Hannah to present?
I guess I do. I don't have anything other than the entry-level test that we, is that already,
No, that hadn't been approved.
okay,
so-
all right. I knew we had a date, but I didn't know y'all approved it. I would ask y'all to approve the same date that you're using the fire department entry to give us a entry-level police officer position.
Any discussion? Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve
Second.
the entry test.
Have a motion and a second to approve police officer entry-level testing for May 20. Any discussion?
Second that. Good.
All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no? Nope.
And on
None
a
of
good
them.
note, we got some qualified applicants on the last test, so
Maybe you can keep more.
at this rate, we're gonna get back up to full speed.
Maybe you can keep more than 10 out of 100.
And as y'all know, that is a problem that's going on all over the country and all over central Arkansas specifically, as you've seen the incentives and things like that. We're all fighting over a shrinking pool. and
Everybody's
that's
trying to
just the
steal
name of the game
everybody's
right
good
now.
people.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. But the mayor hasn't authorized any way out there incentives to bring Little Rock police officers over here to Maumelle. He's brought one person from Little Rock to Maumelle. He said he'd never do it again. I don't know what that means.
It's just a coincidence.
Maybe that's what it is.
Any additional comments? Well, motion,
I
entertain.
understand-
Yes, sir, go ahead.
I understand that we're gonna lose Mr. Peterson.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we don't know that yet.
Yeah, I've pretty well decided that I have not at this time submitted a resume to the clerk for consideration for several reasons. The main one being the interview for that will be on my wedding anniversary, which I have had plans for quite some time that
I
just
will
can't-
represent you.
I cannot shake. So
I understand that.
Understand that.
I think the city council would understand that. Well, you and I need to talk
yeah, we'll talk.
Due Wednesday, so I think,
Wednesday.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
the deadline's Wednesday.
We need to talk.
The application's due
Yeah.
Wednesday. And to the best of my knowledge, we don't have any applications.
Has it been advertised?
It
Yeah,
has been.
it's seen it in the paper. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can call it a paper, but yeah, it's been advertised.
That's a good point.
It seemed to be a little buried back there in the back, but I did find it.
You and I'll talk after the meeting. Any other comments? I would entertain a motion to
I
adjourn.
move we adjourn.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? No. Thank you.